Good afternoon and welcome or welcome back. I am breathless here with everything that I have around me. Um, so I don't see anybody's hopped on here yet. I am connected to Facebook and YouTube. So it is Monday, July 21st, and even that's hard to believe that we're that far into July already. So if you saw what I had posted, I am going to be using the amazing Hi Shirley 3D embossing folder today. This is a star, definitely. I have been playing with it yesterday, all day today. So I'm just going to make a couple cards and then share some samples with you and show you how I made those. This is one of those that, first of all, you can't get enough of it. You can use both sides, the embossed side, which is what you get when the Stampin' Up! Logo is facing you and you emboss, just like you get gold embossing, and it's a little bit higher than. But this 3D folder is gives you a nice deep impression. And there are so many videos out there on YouTube and Facebook. So many, so that it is already on back order and is not currently available. It was when I decided to use this for today's video, and it is available, or is supposed to be back available on August 4th. And recently, Stampin' Up! Has added a feature that if you place an order and go in and put an item in that is currently not available, you can add your email and it will let you know when it is available. And I know from experience that sometimes the dates that say something will be in is their estimated date of when it will be coming. And sometimes it will be earlier than that. So, that's something to think about. So anyway, August 4th. Two other things I want to tell you to mark your calendar for. I found out just about 20 minutes ago when I went upstairs and was checking on the computer. There's going to be a free shipping offering this week. Today's the 21st, so it's going to start on the 23rd. So that's Wednesday, the 23rd through Friday, the 25th. And that free shipping is for orders that are $75 or more. So you might want to gather some friends to put some things together. And next, mark your calendar if you're in Ohio. Our tax-free days, believe it or not, it's getting ready for school already. Our tax-free days in Ohio are July 30th through August 8th. Now, you might think, I don't go to school. I don't have any kids in school. Well, it's something that the state has offered for a number of years for items that would be used in schools. And this includes all adhesives. Let me move this a little bit. All the adhesives, dimensionals. This would be a great time to stock up on those. Markers, watercolor pencils, the Stampin' Blends. And so there's no limit on that. No, you have to order so much in order to get that. So that's something else to consider for end of July, first part of August. And I know around here, I believe in my school district, the kids go back middle of August. So it keeps getting earlier and earlier. All right, let's get started. Let me show you a picture. Let's do this, take that away. Did you know that there are lots of colors of sunflowers? Yes, they're yellow. That's the one we usually typically think of. And I did some research, and this is what I found. There, I can take that away. So you can have like what we would call cherry cobbler, some orangish pumpkin pie color, even a white or vanilla. You see there that I found online to give you some ideas. I like that pinky one down in the lower left corner. At least it's left on my screen. But I am going to show you something with a cherry cobbler one. So let's go back here, see if I can just be down to my desktop and get that loaded in. So yeah, I'm kind of discombobulated today, so let's move along here. Let's first of all, if you've not seen this, do just a simple card. Now, another thing about this, you can get 2 card bases in here. So this happens to be like 5.25 by 4. And this is a basic white. Let's see, I've got some other colors here. Let's do something a little bit different. Cloud cover. This is one of our in colors. So let's move that up. And then add this one at the bottom. Now, normally I want to line everything up with this line here to make sure it's straight. You don't need to worry so much about that. You can go right to the edge. I'll probably trim it down just a little bit. Hi, Sharon, welcome. Now, since it's a 3D, it involves using our plate number 4. So let's grab the Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine here. Ugh. It's heavy kind of to move that over so you can see what it's going to do. Too many things around me. So we have plate 1, and we have our embossing folder with the paper in it, with the hinge end going in first, and a plate 4. So let's get that lined up and roll that through. There's that good sound that tells me that it's done. Okay, I'll put that down on the floor because I'll be pulling that up again. So it is a very deep fold. This is the embossed side. This is the debossed side. And this is pretty amazing. And here is this one. Embossed side, debossed side. I'm going to do something with a designer paper, and if you, depending upon what side of your designer paper you want to use, it would go face down. I'll explain that when I get there. Okay, so let's just take this, and using the embossed side, let's be a little bit different here and take that cherry cobbler I've got sitting out here. And zoom in a little bit. There we go. Now this is just one way. You can get your watercolor pencils to color in. You can get your Stampin' Blends. It's good just on its own too. But I'm going to just take the, what did I say, cherry cobbler cherry cobbler ink pad, and using the end down here, not up here where you have the hinge part, but this part down here, and just very lightly run that across. Okay, that's pretty dramatic. But let's see what it looks like on the other side. So if you notice, this part gets everything that is raised up. This will kind of do the opposite. So which one is better? I feel like I'm at the eye doctor. Which one is better, this one or this one? This one or this one? Okay, let's add a little bit more to that. So if you just do a light covering, you can go back and forth a couple more times. So I kind of like that side better. I really do like the deboss side. Okay, let's do on the, I'm going to set that aside. So some of the things that I will do, I won't make into completed cards, but I'll show you some completed cards at the end. Okay, on this one, we already know that the embossed side doesn't look so good with that color. I'm going to drag, now blue was not one of our colors of sunflowers, but in the stamping world, we can make things any color we want. And that's the joy of it. So I'm going to use on this one, this is Cloud Cover, and this is Secret Sea. Both of these are in colors for this year. Ooh, I like that a lot. So that will become a completed card. So I'm not going to do that over here. Isn't that pretty? Woo, love it. Okay, now I'm going to use a designer series paper. And this is a paper that I got last year at Christmas time, and but I didn't use it for Christmas. And I wanted to do something with gold. And this is what I came up with. So this is paper called, I wrote it down. Where did I write it down? Let's grab the catalog. I did mark it there. This is called Season of Elegance. It's on page 117 in the annual catalog. And so that's something that did carry over and did make it into the catalog. So this will be around for a whole catalog season through the end of the year, or the end of the catalog year, which will be end of April. And it is absolutely stunning with this embossing folder. So here are some of the papers in it. Here's the one that I'm going to be using, which is the Cherry Cobbler. This one, I think I have a sample with this. I had it upstairs for a swap that I do, an online swap. So here's this, and here's the other side. Here's the other side of this one. But I'm going to be wanting to use this one on the debossed side. Okay, we've got an old olive here, an old olive on the other side. Here's another one that is, I don't know if this is, I think this is called crumb cake without looking back at the colors again. There's that. Another old olive. So they all have pieces of gold, some in different spots. So either side would look wonderful. And then this one is Lost Lagoon. And there's that side. So Season of Elegance, supposed to be used for Christmas cards, but I made it into something else. Now, I want this side to be the debossed side. So when I put that in the folder, I'm going to turn it over. Because this side that has the Stampin' Up! Logo is the side that will be the embossed side. Now, you could put this any place you want. I'm going to kind of center it in the middle. It really doesn't make any difference. So that means when I put this through, my pretty side, the pretty side with the gold, is going to be the debossed side. Even though both of these are gorgeous, we don't want to cover up that beautiful gold. So now I'm going to put this through to get the debossed on the gold side. So that's why it's upside down. If that doesn't make sense, let me know. So once again, I need plate 1. So we go through from either side here. Our folder with paper there, and plate 4. Now this embossing folder looks wonderful with a lot of different designer series papers. Okay, so here you can see what we have. This is the embossed side. Now, because it's designer series paper and it's a little bit thinner, we got a little bit of the white core there. But when I flip it over, this is the debossed side. And I'm going to do something else to it as well. So let's see if this does what I want it to do that I worked on earlier. So I'm going to take an early espresso ink pad. Now everyone would be different. Every different card that you run through there is going to be different. So let's run this over here. Okay, that's not coming up as dramatic as I thought that it would, because there's so much gold here. Okay, so not doing exactly. Let's kind of, there we go. Instead of swiping it, I'm going to twirl it a little bit. So I get the cherry cobbler and inky fingers. The gold. And it's actually much prettier in real life. It is gorgeous. So the early espresso kind of goes down into those blank spots there. Okay, just to show you the difference, I'm going to go ahead and do this other side. So this is the embossed side when it went through upside down. Now this one isn't too bad. So I'm kind of twisting this a little bit. Okay, so that's the embossed side, and that's the debossed side. So let me think here. Let me wipe my hands off a little bit. And try something else. Okay, instead of doing what I said I was going to do, I'll show you lots of samples in just a minute, because these are not going. I'm not actually going to make these cards, but they will be made into cards. Let me do. Okay, so let me do this. This doesn't have as much gold on it, and I'll run it through with this part then being the embossed side. So kind of opposite of what I just did. So I'm not going to turn that upside down. So make the sandwich. Slide it through. It doesn't make that big sound because this is thinner paper. And let's see what this side looks as the embossed side. Okay, that's pretty. And again, the white core kind of comes through, but let's slide that across there. Okay, so that's a totally different look. This almost looks like that picture that I showed you at the beginning. Okay, sometimes I just don't know when to quit. Okay, now that's okay, here's the embossed side, no gold. This is the embossed side, gold. And that was the debossed side, and this is the debossed side on this side. If that makes any sense. Okay, so given that, let me wipe my hands off. I made a mess of my ink pad. And I got a little water spray here that I can get that ink off of my hands. At least most of it. All right, let's look at some of the samples that I've made. Okay, I want to start with one that I made several weeks ago. Just very, very simple. Let's open this up, get some of that ink out of the way. And this is just running it through on black cardstock and then swiping it with the white ink pad. And just some quick basic little jewels there. And this was the embossed side, so you can see that it's popped up. Okay, here's one. Not all of these have sentiments on them. And this was a piece of lemon lolly, and then swiped with, I think I did the memento black on this one. So that can go this way or this way. And then I put some brown in there, and also used, I believe, sponge daubers with Early Espresso. I'm looking here to see the colors I have out. Early Espresso and Old Olive on there. Okay, now here's one. Put your sunglasses on. That is just done on gold foil. And our gold foil sheets are single-sided. So it's only gold on the one side. And that is really dramatic as well. Okay, here's one that I did earlier with that same cherry cobbler paper and just swiped over it. This is the debossed side, but there's not as much gold here that I put on that, flipped it to be on that side, and just went over that very briefly with the Memento black. So that one needs a sentiment on it. Okay, here's the one that I really, really like. Also with that paper. And on this one, hold on a minute here. I use this one. So lots of gold, but that lighter color in the back. So when I swiped it over on the debossed side with Early Espresso, that's what I got. And then a thank you that had already been punched out with one of the dies. And this is on Early Espresso paper, and then a little piece that I trimmed off on the inside there. So that one. Okay, what do we have here? Here are a couple that I just got so excited about it. This is some designer paper, one of our new ones. Not even sure of the name of it yet, but it's got, wasn't sure how that one was going to turn out. It's got all of these different colors in it. And most of them would not probably be very good for this particular technique. I guess I lost the sheet that has the name of it, but it's brand new. But it looked good on this one side because it was clear on that one side. And then I took an Versamark pad, ran over it with Versamark, and clear embossing powder. So you can do something like that too. And then this one is a piece of the Bouquet Designer Series paper, and it was Flirty Flamingo on one side, and then it has the Daffodil Delight on the other side. And I did run over this with the Daffodil Delight, no, this was Lemon Lolly, on the deboss side, but I decided to do this and then added gold embossing powder to it. So kind of need your sunglasses to look at some of these. Okay, that can go there. Now here's another one. Very plain, sending hugs. This is from one of the ephemera packs. And just very vanilla, embossed, and then I cut out one of the sunflowers and then put some little bees on there. So very subtle. Lots of dimensionals under there. Okay, now here's another one out of this kind of weird paper like this. I wasn't sure what it was going to look like, but I did it anyway. So it's got all these different colors in here with our yellow and green and blue and another blue here, a little bit of pink, I think, on there. I'm not sure. And that was also the debossed side. So if I wanted that part to be debossed, that's what I put face down before I ran it through. Not sure if that's going to end up being a card or not. Okay, now here was one that I ended up doing both sides. So you can just play around with this as you like. And this was on a piece of basic white, and I used blending brushes in yellow and blue and a little bit of brown in there with the, what am I thinking? Sponge daubers. I don't use those very often, so I had to pull them out. But it didn't turn out the way I liked it, so that I went on the other side and did some yellow and green and brown there. So that'll probably end up being a panel on a card. You can see I really went to town on this. Now this is one that is made with, and they're on the other side of the room, gold cards and envelopes that have been retired, and that's the deboss side of that too. So those are no longer available, and I cut it in half so that you could get 2 out of 1 card. So that one is really, really pretty too. And then I swiped over it with Early Espresso, and that has been made into a card with no sentiment on it yet. Okay, you can see I kind of went to town on this. Here is one of the Season of Elegance in Old Olive. I didn't do anything with it other than just run it through upside down, so I got the deboss side on that one. Almost done. Here's one I did a couple weeks ago with panels with 3 of our yellows. So we've got, this is, I think that's just Daffodil Delight, Lemon Lolly, and I think that's Daffodil Delight too. I forget. I did this one quite a while ago. And then matched them up so that it's just the panels there. And a little bit of ribbon. And then here's one that I just did this afternoon, finishing up where I ran it through on some basic white, cut out that sunflower, ran some lemon lolly over it, put some Early Espresso there. And then this is the Secret Sea, a piece of that I ran through on the circles. Then, if you can see these little bit of gold here, those are from those new gold rub-ons that we have. And then a few butterflies, and then You're So Kind. So this is the Secret Sea. And I thought that kind of went well with the yellow. So that's it. It's just kind of an array of ideas and things that you can kind of run with. I'll lay a few of these out here. Ones that are more finished than not. This one's done. So I've got a lot of work to finish these. But they were so much fun. Here's one that is done. And then these others are just pieces of cards that need to get put together. This one is, that would be awesome for a golden wedding anniversary. Ooh, that would be great. Any of these with the gold would be good for a special event. And that one's as a card base, so I'll put that one out. So that is it. So Shirley and Sharon, I think you were the only ones here today. Nobody else had an opportunity to chime in. So if you're seeing this on the replay, please leave a comment. I would love to know where you're from. And I will see you back here next week. Don't forget, free shipping this Wednesday through Friday, $75 and more or more. And the embossing folder is due back on August 4th, but you can check it out sooner if you like. And free shipping is July 30th through August 8th if you are in Ohio. Hello, Lisa Spacek from Phillips. Where is Phillips? Let me know. Is that I'm not familiar with that place, so welcome. So I hope you have this embossing folder on your bucket list, and it's something that you will have for a long time. It's just so much fun to play. Northern Wisconsin. Welcome. Thank you. If this is your first time, welcome, and or welcome back if you've been watching before. I always like to get new people. So, and if you're new, I would love for you to subscribe. I'm here every Monday at 3:30, usually for about a half an hour, sometimes a little bit longer, depending upon how much I have to show, how organized I happen to be for the day. So welcome. Maybe it's a little bit cooler up there. We are warm today, but going to get pretty hot by the middle of the week. So I'm out of breath. And so take care, and I will see you next video.